Hello everybody, this is Sachin from Throat Punch, and today I have a review for the first mission of Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War. The first mission of the game is titled Nowhere Left to Run, takes place in 1981, and to my surprise, we actually get to play with Alex Mason, giving us a very familiar ground to start off on, which is a pretty cool move considering what happens later on in the game. This will be a good time to say that there are spoilers, there will be spoilers, and this overview can't really be done without spoilers. It's an overview, not a review, even though I do discuss some thoughts and things while I'm talking about the overview. So let's just continue. The first mission, titled Nowhere Left to Run, starts in a bar in 1981. A bar where you, playing as Alex Mason, is taken to find and interrogate a man named Quasim Javadi, someone who, from the perspective of the United States government, is a terrorist and just an all-out evil person. You know, he's a baddie. I use the word perspective because, as you'll soon find out, you get to actually choose your punishment for this character once he's found. Whether or not you give him the right to live, become a prisoner, or die, it's all your choice. Even though your partner will kill him if you do just release him. So the best bet for his sake, if you want to be sparing, is to capture him, honestly. The thing I like most about this switch to, multiple choice storytelling is the fact that the game starts you off with Mason, who to many people is arguably the most familiar Call of Duty character. Most recognizable main protagonist at the very least, excluding things like zombies and any other modes where there may be other storylines happening. The reason why I say that choosing Mason as, the first character you get to play with is a very smart move is purely because Mason is a very classic character. Mason, in every Call of Duty game he's been in, the storyline, the method of storytelling has always been the same. You're getting a very classic character in an entirely new method of storytelling that shows you being able to kind of use Mason as an actual video game character as opposed to him being a set piece, if that makes sense. I just think that's really cool. But let me actually get into the fucking mission. Now, you might be wondering why I'm giving so much props for the multiple choice narrative form of storytelling here. You might be asking, hey, how is this revolutionary? Is this like a next gen thing that you expect to kind of take wind? And honestly, the answer to that is no. This is neither new or revolutionary. In fact, this has been done since the ass crack of dawn. However, for a Call of Duty game to use this as its primary source of storytelling, it is extremely fresh for the franchise and almost makes me hungry for more campaign modes because honestly, prior to Cold War and maybe Modern Warfare, the campaign mode of every Call of Duty game was not my cup of tea. I only went straight to zombies or multiplayer, being completely honest. The idea of perspective can change who the villain of the story is. Many of us are so used to Superman and Doomsdays that we often forget about the Invader Zims of the world. And I think this game can use that as a crutch. It does use it as a crutch from what I've seen. If you have a story that is maybe not the strongest, adding a layer of multiple choice adds a lot of diversity and possibilities to the things that maybe wouldn't happen if the story was just a streamlined written narrative, if that makes sense. The way it comes out of nowhere while we're chasing Quasim is also a very good touch. We don't really think, why did Quasim attack the United States? You think if Quasim is such a threat, he must be killed, right? The game doesn't really present you with an option while you're chasing him. You have no way, unless you watch spoilers or, watch the campaign mode somehow. You have no way of knowing that his fate is ultimately in your hands. To be completely honest, my initial reaction was, what the hell? Like, this man's fate is in my hands. I didn't sign up for this shit. This is Mason's job. But it was in that moment that my mind went from, hey, the mission is telling me to capture Quasim or kill him, gather intel, to how do I actually want to gather this intel? What method will I use? Do I want Quasim dead? Like, do I feel a certain type of way towards this character? And it's really interesting that the game allows you to have these perspectives because in a world like Call of Duty, where most conflict is fueled by either hate or revenge, we never really get an opportunity to kind of put our own knife through the butter, if that makes sense. Now that extra information is over, I'm just going to get straight into the game, talk about the gameplay and what I liked and what I didn't like. The mission starts with a contractor named Hans, who meets you, Alex Mason, an Adler in a bar in Amsterdam. Right off the bat, I like to I like to draw attention to the fact that NPCs actually take note of you, looking at you and acknowledging your existence as you walk by to the exit. This isn't a necessity for video games, but it's definitely a small detail that I enjoyed a lot. Through the exit to the back door, you'll be presented with 3 guns in the back of a car's trunk. That honestly, most of the difficulty in this mission is going to come from picking one of these 3 weapons because honestly, I wanted to use all of them. Like I tried to swap out my secondary pistol for another, but that didn't work, so don't try and do that. The first gun is the MP5, which is a classic versatile submachine gun that any Call of Duty fan will recognize. The second one is the Milano, a pretty new submachine gun that annihilates enemies up close, and it's personally my favorite in multiplayer. So it's, spoiler alert, the one that I went with. Then we have the AK-74U, which is basically, to my understanding, a submachine gun version of the AK-47. Correct me if I'm wrong, but that's pretty much what I think, or that's what I know. Another nice little detail is that after you get your gun, if you look at any NPCs on like any of the sidewalks and alleyways, they will run away and they might yell out like, "Hey, what the fuck?" or "That guy has a gun." Shit like that, it's really fun. Again, not necessity, but it's something that I noticed and I like the little detail. Now, right after you pick your gun, I give it about 30 seconds later, you're already thrown into action. Not too far from the area where you pick up your gun, you find Quasim's hideout, and from this point, the gunfight immediately fucking starts. You literally ambush this man through his apartment building windows. Like, you spray his entire fucking first floor of goons out, and they don't even see shit coming. This fight covers multiple floors of this apartment, multiple rooftops, and just all out different fucking buildings and air fights and shit. There's so many territories and grounds that this fight covers, and just one sequence that it feels extremely neat. And this is only done by how good the parkour is. It definitely feels a little like Modern Warfare, but it does have the fast action paced run and gunplay of Black Ops 4, 3, 2, 1. You get the point. The slide is amazing. The slide actually matters in this game. In Modern Warfare, it kinda sucked ass, not gonna lie. After chasing Quasim and capturing him, you're given the opportunity to either drop him off of a roof after interrogating him, or figure out the location of Arash Kadivar, which, is the second big bad. Or you can just release him completely, which results in Adler shooting him anyway. So if you click the release option, he'll die as stated before. So if you want to be spareful, your best bet is to capture him as a prisoner. Regardless of what you do, you're gonna find Arash. So none of this really matters, but thematically and storytelling wise, this is a very great touch, as I've spoken on a lot. You're then transferred in like a jump cut directly to an airport where you're going after Arash. Now you know where he is, you know who he's meeting with. You're about to fuck shit up, and he doesn't even expect it, per usual. Now, you're probably thinking that this would be like the dull part of this first mission, right? You're in an airport, you're ducking behind like a little barricade, just watching, shit via binoculars, and it feels very slow, right? However, it only takes a few seconds for Arash to pull up in a black van, and you're just watching him. Mission's still kind of slow, and this motherfucker pulls out a handgun, probably a 1911. If I don't know, I wouldn't know. And he just shoots the people in the vehicle. He shoots his escorts, I guess, because they know too much. I don't know, but maybe it was just like an edgy moment for him to have. But as soon as he shoots them, the fucking energy just switches, right? In a very cool sequence, when he boards this escape plane that he's kind of driven to, you get one chance to try and snipe him down. You switch your binoculars for a sniper rifle, and honestly, this shot will always fail. Like, narratively, the story only works if you fail the sniper shot, and there's always a guy standing in front of him, regardless of how accurately you aim for this man's head. Whether or not it be entirely different angles, it always hit the man in front of him. So Don't stress too hard on that. Honestly, just shoot the fucking man. And it's right after this point that everybody knows exactly where you are. So another gunfight starts. And I was honestly thinking, like, with as good as a gunfight as, the first phase of the mission had with, like, the parkour and everything, how is this one going to compare? And the answer to that is via vehicle combat. Arash, now knowing that your hair is essentially making a getaway on a getaway plane, and you have to catch him while battling his goons in moving high speed vehicles. And when I say this sequence is fucking beautiful, this was the moment I was like, okay, this is next gen. This is some next gen. This is next gen things right here. Now the car you're driving in, honest, is too fucking slow. It's too slow. You can't catch Arash in his little getaway plane that is taking forever for some reason to lift off the ground. And so what you do, aka like the best part of this mission, you throw down a fucking RXCD. What are they called? You throw down a mini Hot Wheels exploding car, and you use that to catch up to the getaway plane while your partners are shooting at the cars beside you. Now, when I tell you, this game doesn't tell you what it's about to do. It just fucking does it, and I think that is the best. That's the best part of this game. Period. The best aspect of this game. Excuse me. The RCXD plays just like an legit like Hot Wheels car, so that goes to show you how smooth that is. You have to guide this thing through high speed debris and enemy gunfire and enemy vehicles for the most part. So you're literally drifting with a fucking RCXD. Who drifts with an RCXD? Have you ever done that in Call of Duty? Because I never did. Maybe you have crazy skill for RCXD, but all I knew was that moment got my adrenaline to an all-time high, and I'm doing this mission the third time. I'm going to do it again. When you finally catch up to the plane with the RCXD and you explode that shit, the entire plane does like fucking gymnastics and kills just about everyone near that crash. So for some reason you survive. You survive. You and your team are perfectly. You Woods and Adler for some reason have no injury whatsoever. You get knocked out for literally about 3 seconds because while you're waking up, the same events are taking place, which means you probably just fucking blinked and they assumed you got knocked out and woke you up or whatever. I don't know. But luckily for you, because I'm pretty sure in the normal case he would have died, Arash lived through the crash, which allowed Adler to interrogate him, even though there weren't any questions answered. But Arash did spill the tea on a new enemy named Perseus. Perseus, who is a hardened veteran that Adler thought he had killed. So we're getting kind of tie-ins between characters. And Perseus's whole thing is him being a former Soviet spy, being like dedicated to the de-establishment of the West. So he essentially wants chaos to take place in the Western world, which shit, that's a cool villain. I'm not wow, that sounded wrong. Okay, I'm not saying that. Anyways, so we have familiar characters in a new fucking playstyle, which is amazing and complements them extremely well. We have a new big bad interacting with these familiar characters, which is cool as hell. The only negative thing that I have to say is that people who need to survive for the plot to continue, like the plane explodes and it only kills the rest of the enemies that were right next to the vehicle that Mason, Adler, and Woods was in. That's very suspicious. Maybe they have some type of superhuman durability. I don't know, but that was definitely one aspect that I kind of side-eyed. Outside of that, everything was cool. And I can't wait to play Mission 2 and review it as well. So look forward to that. Throw Punch out.